Welcome to BFM News at 2. I'm David Kim. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that the re-establishment of ties between South Korea and Russia is contingent on the actions of Seoul, with Moscow being open to this possibility. During a credential reception ceremony at the Kremlin Palace in Moscow, where he accepted the credentials of new ambassadors from 21 nations, Putin remarked that the bilateral relationship is currently facing challenges. He noted that until recently, the relationship between the two countries was evolving constructively for their mutual benefit, especially in the economic sector. South Korea's new ambassador to Russia, Lee Do-hoon, along with ambassadors from 20 other nations, including Britain and Germany, who Moscow deems unfriendly due to their sanctions related to the Ukraine conflict, presented their credentials to President Putin. The U.S. State Department, through spokesperson Matthew Miller, clarified that South Korea is not under United Nations Security Council UNSC sanctions in response to North Korea's accusations of a double standard by the U.S. regarding satellite launches. This statement came during a press briefing where Miller differentiated between recent military spy satellite launches by South and North Korea. He emphasized that South Korea's actions are not subject to the same UNSC resolutions that apply to North Korea due to its dangerous activities. North Korea had previously criticized the U.S. for condemning its satellite launch as a threat to regional peace while justifying South Korea's similar actions under international law. In local news, the Ministry of Education's Visiting Education Development Special Zone briefing aimed at comprehensively supporting regional education innovation and nurturing and settling local talent will be held in Busan. The Busan Office of Education said today that it will hold the briefing tomorrow afternoon at locations including the Gupo Care Center, the Northern Education Support Office, and Busan National University, with around 200 participants, including Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education Lee Joo-ho, Busan Superintendent of Education Yoon Soo-ha, and Busan Mayor Park Kyung-jun. The briefing will include site visits, project presentations, and discussions to find a Busan-style education development special zone model. Busan's consumer price index in November rose by 3.6% compared to the same month last year. According to the November Busan City Consumer Price Trend data from the Southeast Regional Statistics Office today, last month's consumer price index in Busan was 112.65, up 3.6% from the same month last year. Agricultural, livestock, and fishery products increased by 6.5%, industrial products by 2.5%, electricity, gas, and water by 8.8%, and services by 3.4%. The Fresh Food Index, which consists of items with significant price fluctuations due to weather conditions or seasons, such as fresh fish, shellfish, vegetables, and fruits, rose by 12.7%. In international news, 11 hikers have been found dead near the crater of Indonesia's Mount Merapi volcano following its eruption over the weekend. 12 others remain missing, and the search was halted on Monday local time due to another smaller eruption. During the main eruption on Sunday, there were 75 hikers in the area, but most were safely evacuated. Merapi, one of Indonesia's 127 active volcanoes, emitted a 3-kilometer-high ash cloud, darkening the sky and covering nearby villages in ash. The Gold Coast has withdrawn its candidacy to host the next Commonwealth Games, dashing any remaining hopes of the event being ever held in Australia. Just as it did in 2018, the proposal lacked support from both federal and state governments, as well as opposition from the city's own deputy mayor. This setback has led to concerns about possibly postponing or canceling the upcoming games. The Commonwealth Games, a multi-sport event held every 4 years with participants from over 70 Commonwealth nations, has only been canceled once during World War II. And now taking a quick look at the weather here. It is currently 17 degrees Celsius under clear skies. Fine dust and ultrafine particle levels are rated normal. The evening low will cool to 7 degrees tonight. And that wraps up for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is Steve Hatherly Reboot with Steve Hatherly. BFM Busan 영어방송.
What you're about to hear is amazing. That's because you're locked in to Busan's #1 English radio station. Whether you're at home, at work, or driving in your car, you will be exposed to radio excellence. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because it starts right now.
Have you ever heard of duplitecture? That's where you take a piece of architecture from somewhere else in the world and you duplicate it for yourself in your own country. It's basically copycat architecture. And there are towns or cities in China that have done this successfully. It's actually quite fun, and we're going to talk about that today. But here's my question for you. If you could take any one thing from another country, any one structure from a different country, and duplicate it here in Korea, what would that be? It's Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. I'm Steve Hatherly. This is Steve Hatherly Reboot. Let's go. That was Angry by the Rolling Stones, and that song was the lead single from their Hackney Diamonds album. Came out on September 6th of 2023, and this song is the Stones' first original music since 2020's Living in a Ghost Town. Hackney Diamonds, the album, is their first full-length original record in 18 years, dating back to A Bigger Bang, that was the name of their last one, that came out in 2005. The song paints a picture of a romance teetering on the edge of oblivion. Mick Jagger is caught in a storm of emotion, wrestling with his own fury and torment while trying to soothe his partner's anger. And I knew that the Rolling Stones album came out this year. And I know that the Rolling Stones have had a very, very long career spanning multiple decades. But I thought during that song, how old is Mick Jagger? Nappy, do you know, just off the top of your head, do you know how old he is? 70? No, that's his guess. Okay. Mick Jagger is not 70 years old. Mick Jagger is 80. Mick Jagger is 80 years old, and he still sounds like he did back in the 1970s. I swear the Rolling Stones are a walking medical miracle. It's unbelievable that they're still going, they're still making great music, and they still sound like they sounded so many years ago. 80 years old. I mean, I was blown away by Dolly Parton's new Rockstar album, finding out that she's 77 years old, but Mick Jagger's 80. He's 80 and still doing that. Wow, my jaw just dropped when I looked up that information during that song. Anyway, good tune from the Rolling Stones to get us started. Today, I am live in the studio from Busan on this Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to the show, everyone. You're tuned in on BEFM 90.5 in Busan, 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Zhongguan, and Noksan areas, in Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3 and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. Thank you very much for being with us today. I'm your host, Steve Hatherly. Go on over to YouTube and watch our live stream there, youtube.com, and search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. You can find our live stream, watch our live stream, and you can do that until the songs start to play. And when that happens, they will fade out. And at that point, you'll have to open up your BEFM app, or of course you can listen to the music through FM radio as well. And this is all about music copyright issues. That's why we have to have this inconvenience, and we apologize for that. There's nothing we can do about it right now. Hopefully it'll change in the future, but we appreciate your cooperation and your patience and your understanding and all that good stuff. I still can't believe he's 80 years old. We can't say it. We have to stop saying, I'm too old for this. That sentence needs to be eliminated from our vocabulary or from our vernacular. We can't say I'm too old for this anymore, right? If he's making music at 80 or 81 years old, Silly says 81. Is it 81? Did I misread that? Well, anyway, it's still incredible. If he's doing that, if Dolly Parton is doing that, and I know they're not normal human beings, these are international, worldwide superstars with incredible talent, but still, you know, if you're in your 30s or you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s or even your 70s and you use that sentence, no, I'm too old for that, that's something that needs to go away. I don't think we're ever too old for anything. If you enjoy it, if you want to do it, do it. Age is just a number. Mick Jagger can be an inspiration for us all. All right, coming up on the show today, let's get to it. Hot off the press will be first on the list of things to do from me to you today. Hot off the press means you'll hear some trendy music that has been newly released. I'll give you a little info on the artist and a little on the track as well. After that, officially amazing time. Melissa will be here to guide us through some stories of amazing people, amazing accomplishments, or amazing feats from years gone by. And she'll stay with me for what remains of hour number one. Then in hour number two, for our fun fact of the day, and this is what I was asking you in the opening of the show. Have you heard this term before? Duplitecture. It means duplicating architecture. So it's a combination, I guess, of those two words, or copycat architecture. Did you know that there's a Paris in China? Basically, they duplicated the city, not the entire thing, but some parts of it for sure. And then there are other examples of duplicatecture as well. And we'll talk about that through our fun fact of the day. I was looking at pictures last night. Have you seen the images from this, the Paris in China? It's pretty cool, I must say. They did a really, really good job of making it look exactly like Paris. I was looking at side-by-side pictures yesterday, just of one section of the place in China and one section of the place in Paris, and they did a remarkable job. The builders did a phenomenal job of recreating what it really looks like there. I've never heard this term before. I didn't know that this was happening in China. So we'll talk about that through our fun fact of the day today. Then for tomorrow today, I think this qualifies for our segment, but this is very specific to a large group of people. There was supposed to be a 3-year cruise that was meant to kick off in November. It was supposed to depart in November. And the deal was people bought these tickets or these packages for a 3-year cruise. And obviously, this isn't cheap, right? I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars here because it's basically the price of the cruise was basically the price of living for 3 years. But it got canceled last month. And you might think, well, that's not really a big deal, right? You know, the cruise ship canceled the cruise. People just go on with their lives, right? Airlines cancel flights sometimes. Yeah, but it's not the same, is it? Think about it. If you were planning on going on a 3-year cruise, you would make massive adjustments to your life. And all of a sudden, people were left in a situation where they had spent a lot of money, they had made adjustments in their own lives, and then they were left with no cruise package. This is a big deal. So we're going to talk about that story through tomorrow today. The idea of a 3-year cruise, I mean, it sounds pretty amazing, right? But it did get canceled, and I'll tell you that story in the second hour. We'll also have perfect playlists, the best songs for every situation. This week, what are we doing? Warm weather Christmas music. This week is our theme, which is a fun one. And then I'll check your messages, of course, throughout the show as well. Question of the day today. Okay, so this is related to duplicatecture. I have to look at my paper every time I say that word because it's a new word for me and I'm not used to it yet. Duplicatecture. This is inspired by duplicatecture. If you could take any one thing from another country, think about the structures or the buildings or anything from another country that you've seen. I mean, for our question today, it can even be nature, right? If you wanted to bring Mount Fuji from Japan and put it in the middle of Busan, for example, that's okay for an answer today. We don't need to take it too seriously. You could also answer culture-wise. You know, if you thought about copying some part of another culture and bringing it into Korean culture, you can answer that way too. If you could bring any one thing from another country and duplicate it here in Korea, what would that be? 만약 다른 나라에서 한 가지를 한국으로 가져와서 똑같이 만들 수 있다면 그것은 무엇인가요? Think about your answers and then share them with me. Pounder sharp 9050. That will cost you 100 won. You can add us on Kakao Talk for free and send messages for free by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean, just like Hisuk already did today. Hisuk's listening this afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Hisuk says, I would have to be super rich to do that. You mean the 3-year cruise? Yeah, it's not cheap to take a 3-year cruise. I'll give you the details in the second hour. You can also download the app through the smartphone app. Search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. You can listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. We'll have a break, and when we come back, we'll get into today's Hot Off the Press. Here is Olivia Dean and Leon Bridges, The Hardest Part. That was Olivia Dean and Leon Bridges with The Hardest Part, and we're back, and it's time for today's Hot Off the Press, where from Monday to Friday, we bring you two of the newest, hottest tracks from the world of music. A lot of songs are released every week, and we pick out a couple each day that we hope that you'll really enjoy. Let's start today with Keen's new song, Love Actually. Keen has unearthed a previously unreleased track called Love Actually, and as you might have guessed, the track was originally written for the 2003 romantic comedy of the same name. A then unsigned Keen had recorded the song at the suggestion of their friend and manager who was working for a Love Actually producer. At the time, they felt that getting the song into the movie would be their big break. Isn't that interesting? Keen is an internationally successful band now, but at the time, they weren't signed to a record label, so nobody knew who they were. They were just starting out. So they wrote a song for Love Actually, and it never made it in there. So they're releasing it, 20 years later. That's amazing. I can't wait to hear that. Following that, we'll hear Lana Del Rey, Take Me Home, Country Roads. Lana Del Rey makes a reference to a John Denver song on the opening track of her most recent album, and now she's covering one of his most iconic releases as well. Last Friday, she released a one-off single covering Take Me Home, Country Roads. This is a song that came out in 1971. In 2024, Del Rey could pick up her first Grammy win. She's up for Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Alternative Music Performance, Best Pop Duo Group Performance, and Best Alternative Music Album. The nominations are largely for Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard and the single A&W. I've listened to that new Lana Del Rey album. Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? It's a long title. That's the name of the record. It's really, really good. Anyway, that's a side note. Here we go with our two tracks for Hot Off the Press today. New from Keen. Well, new? Kinda. We're hearing it now. It came out now, but it was written 20 years ago. Love Actually. And then Lana Del Rey, the cover of the John Denver classic, Take Me Home, Country Roads. Lana Del Rey has this amazing ability to sound like she doesn't really care what she's singing about. And she's saying, "Take me home, country roads," like she doesn't really care if she goes home on a country road or not, but it's endearing and it works. It's kind of dark, isn't it? Lana Del Rey, that's her superpower. That's her ability. That's what she has in her vocal. I think, this is just my opinion, that no one else really has. She's so very good. And please do check out that new album. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Really, really good. I think my favorite song on that album is called Peppers. Beware the language on that. I had to edit it when I played it on my morning show. Anyway, yeah, go ahead and check that one out. That was Lana Del Rey's cover of John Denver's Take Me Home, Country Roads, and before that, Keen, their song from 20 years ago that just came out now, written for the film Love Actually that didn't make the cut. Question of the day today. This is fun. If you could take one thing from another country and duplicate it in Korea, what would that be? Cherish texted and said, well, can I do it the other way around? I want to bring the Korea to the Philippines. I want to bring Korea's mass transit all the way to the Philippines. Yeah, mass transportation in Korea is pretty impressive, isn't it? Bringing that to the Philippines. And then, Cherish, can you deliver that to Canada as well? After you get it to the Philippines, we'd like to have it there too. Yes, of course you can answer like that. No need to take this question too seriously. Answer any way you want. Bring something to Korea, take something from Korea. It can be architecture, it can be culture related, it can be anything you want. 만약 다른 나라에서 한 가지를 한국으로 가져와서 똑같이 만들 수 있다면 그것은 무엇인가요? Think about your answers and then share them with me, pounder sharp 9050 for 101. Add us on Kakao Talk for free and send messages for free by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. You can listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. It is time for this week's Officially Amazing, and for that, the amazing Melissa is in studio. How you doing this week?
I am great because it's almost Christmas. Time for Christmas topics. All day, every day, Christmas. I'm ready. I can feel your excitement radiating, Steve. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas.
Have you had 13 cups of coffee today, or is this just the Christmas spirit radiating throughout your body?
This is the Christmas spirit, and I've only had 2 coffees.
Oh, that's wonderful. Isn't that great? I mean, it's only what? It's December 5th today, and here we are with Melissa, and she is just bubbling with the Christmas spirit.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. I'm assuming, yes, so it's going to be Christmas topic this week, next week, the following week, and then, of course, Christmas week as well.
Of course.
Right.
All day, every day, Christmas topics.
I figured as much. Can I ask you an off-topic question before we get into our Christmas chat today?
Of course.
If you could bring something from another country to Korea, what would that thing be? Or if you want, you can answer like Cherish did, something from Korea to your home country of the United States.
So, if we're bringing something to Korea, Korea needs cheese curds. Okay, obviously.
Real cheese curds.
Real cheese curds, right? If you're Canadian or if you're from the northern part of the U.S. like I am, we need some real cheese curds here.
I mean, for proper poutine, you have to have cheese curds.
Or not even just poutine, just for eating.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great snack, needs to be squeaky. If I were to follow Cherish's example, what we're taking from Korea, because I'm American, I would say taking the healthcare system, especially the doctors, like their skill and their politeness. American doctors, at least the area that I grew up in, they're famous.
Rude?
Oh, yes. They're very rude and condescending. They talk down to you. But in Korea, I mean, sure, not every Korean doctor is perfect, I'm sure, but the ones that I've met, super polite, extremely skilled, and so affordable.
The last thing you want when you're feeling sick or you need help is to have someone talk down to you or to be rude to you.
Yes, and tell you, oh, you're fine. It's probably just stress.
Yeah.
I broke my arm. You're probably just stressed.
I am stressed because
Yes.
my arm is broken. It's great to see you, Melissa. Now let's get into it. It is time for this week's Officially Amazing. You're here to give us some stories of amazing people, amazing accomplishments, or amazing feats from years gone by. What are we talking about today? I know it's Christmas related.
Oh, yeah.
But
Definitely.
more specifically.
So, the fourth Friday in November, that's the day after Thanksgiving. That was Black Friday.
I was looking for Black Friday stuff here in Korea. I don't know if it's a different name. I don't know if it's at a different time. I didn't see anything really.
Well, they say it's a Black Friday sale, but it's like a very depressing Black Friday sale. They're like, Black Friday, 20% off.
Oh, that's no fun. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, Black Friday, that's when we get serious about shopping for Christmas presents. So
that's when in the United States, it can get a little bit dangerous in some spots, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the sales are like, 70, 80% off. And people...
First come, first serve.
And first come, first serve, and then they'll line up well before the doors to the shops open, and that can get dangerous. And then once they're in the shop, if there's only one item left or a couple of items left, people will literally fight over that.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. People have been injured, and a lot of problems with that. But the point is, we have to start thinking about shopping for Christmas presents, and not everyone is easy to shop for.
Yes.
So if you're in need of holiday gift ideas, you're in luck, because today we're talking about expert predictions for the top trending holiday gifts of 2023. So get your pencils ready.
Perfect. I'm ready.
So let's start with like Secret Santa or White Elephant. So Steve, do you have any like go-to Secret Santa gift or like White Elephant gift ideas? Usually this is like for coworkers you don't really know.
So White Elephant office gift exchange, that's when I bring something, I wrap a gift, and then I just put it under the office Christmas tree, but I don't put my name on it.
Yes.
We did that last year, didn't we, Nappy D? You got some headphones last year, didn't you? That was amazing. I got a lovely tea set. So what do I want from that?
What would you bring? Because see, here we're thinking mixed genders, mixed ages, mixed everything, right? Like if everybody in the workplace, you don't know who's going to choose which gift.
Last year, I took part in the office Christmas gift exchange, and it was a random gift exchange. And next to our studios here, there was a lovely bakery that had some artisan cookies. Ooh. So I bought a box of artisan cookies and, put them in the gift bag and then put them under the tree.
Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with food, I think.
If I'm honest...
You
which
ate
I probably shouldn't be. That gift was probably selected more so for geographical convenience than it was for really thinking that somebody's really going to love a box of cookies. But they looked really good, to be fair, yeah.
I mean, I would be happy with cookies. Where I used to work several years ago, it became like wine of the month. We all exchanged bottles of wine.
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
But, there's other options. There are other options. And let's start with an automatic mug warmer as another option.
An automatic mug warmer?
Yes.
What is that?
So it's similar to an electric griddle, which is the thing you cook pancakes on, or like a candle warmer. It's a small circle, and it's specifically made to fit the ceramic mug cups. And to me, this is a great gift option because in almost any office in the world, you would be really hard-pressed to find someone who does not like drinking coffee or tea all the time. And with this little gadget, you plug it into your USB instead of an outlet, so you can happily drink hot beverages at your desk all day long.
So you plug this little machine into your computer. You can.
Yes.
Right? Because it's it uses a USB cable. But what is it? I'm still confused. So it's in the shape of a mug,
Yes,
itself?
it is. It's in the shape of the base of a mug cup. And then you can just set it on the top. It's like an open heating element. You set your ceramic mug on there, and it keeps it warm.
It keeps that warm and thereby keeps your drink hot.
Yes.
Inside. That is a good gift. That's probably not overly expensive either, I would think.
Right. It's online for about $20 or 25,000원. So right in the price range of that kind of typical white elephant or Secret Santa gift.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a perfect one for the office, right? But what if we have to buy a gift for someone that we don't really know very well and it's not an office situation?
Right. So another top recommendation, this one I think also teenagers all the way up to adults would like it, some kind of Bluetooth tracking tile.
What's the Bluetooth tracking tile?
So most people probably already familiar with tags made by the Fruit Company, which shall remain unnamed, right? But there's a lot of other tags out there, and they're more affordable than you might think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So this is a device that emits a signal, such as Bluetooth or whatever, works with your phone, so that if, for example, I put this tile or tracker into my suitcase, then I know where my suitcase is through my cell phone.
It's like a little chip
Yes.
that you attach to your phone or to your suitcase or to whatever you want to know where it is. Okay, yeah, cool idea.
Yeah. So, there's more than just the Fruit Company's product. America has a Chipotle, variations of it. Some are just called like a tile. They're flat. They have key rings. And they're less than $20. So they're practical and they're affordable.
Very nice. Great gift ideas. That's our theme today with Melissa in Officially Amazing. According to the experts, what are the best of the best affordable gift ideas for this 2023 season? We'll continue on when we come back. Here's Andy Williams. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Andy Williams, it's the most wonderful time of the year. I think that's my favorite Christmas song.
Right? It's a
Yeah.
classic. You
Yeah.
you can't hear that and not feel Christmassy.
Yes, exactly. And if the snow were falling outside, it would even add more to that feeling. Today, with Melissa in Officially Amazing, we're talking about affordable gift ideas. According to experts, what they predict will be the greatest and best choices for gifts, affordable ones, for this 2023 season. All right, so moving on. What else are they saying is going to be hot?
Okay, so I have to talk about a group that is really hard to buy for, and that is men. You know why? Because it doesn't matter how many times you beg and plead, men don't make a Christmas list. Steve.
You mean like what they want for Christmas?
Yes.
Hold on. Let me put this theory to the test. Now, PD, what do you want for Christmas this year?
Crickets chirping.
I don't know.
Silent. Yeah, see, this is the
Me
problem.
too. I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. I didn't think about it.
See, there's only so many socks, speakers, and tumblers you can buy for men.
Did you and I exchange Christmas gifts last year, not PD? No?
No, because
that's good.
neither of you know what you want, so it's a good thing.
Let's not do that this year, too. Is that okay with you? Cool.
So we need some help. Oh, man. So these suggestions, they were crowdsourced from social media. Either men actually wrote what they wanted this year for Christmas, or they shared what their favorite ever gift was, and then I took the top voted items.
Oh, okay. What'd they say?
So I have several. Surely you've heard of a Swiss Army knife.
Sure, that's
right?
The knife that has like the knife part and the fork part and the spoon part and
right.
a lot of different things.
Like 30 different things,
Yeah.
right? That's a great gift idea if you haven't already bought one. But what about a MacGyver-esque pen?
Ooh, what's that?
Ooh, we have a clip explaining this pen. Let's take a listen.
This would be a great stocking stuffer. This is a 9-in-1 multi-tool pen, and it does 9 different things. What all does it do? I don't know. You found this, honestly.
It has a flashlight, it has a ruler, it has a pen, obviously, it has a stylus, it has multiple screwdrivers in there, Phillips and flathead.
I'm impressed with your knowledge of this. A bottle opener?
It does have a bottle opener. It also has a level. Basically everything you need.
And a pen. It's like it actually is a pen, and it comes with different ink refills, too.
It does.
Yes, please.
Right?
I'll take
See?
that.
Yeah, it's a great idea. So that's not the only thing. One of the most recommended items this year for men is also a lightweight insulated rain jacket.
Lightweight insulated rain jacket. Okay.
Yes, so a specific brand, I'll say it partially in Korean, translate yourself, cha. Heart. Theirs in particular mentioned several times, but a lot of brands that have some variety. Basically, waterproofing or water repellent material is important because in winter it's either raining or snowing, and if you're wet, you'll be cold. But also lightweight material was specifically mentioned as being important for guys who need to work outside because, you can't fully move around and function in bulky jackets like the so-called long padding.
The long paddings, yeah,
right.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
I think that's a good recommendation. I mean, for me, if it's a Christmas gift, then you want it to be something that's a little outside the practical side.
right, a little more fun.
A little more fun and a little cooler. And I don't mean like cooler temperatures. I mean like 멋있다.
Yes.
Like a 멋있는 선물. Like the 9-in-1 pen with the flashlight. And yes, that's a cool gift.
There's a couple more.
The coat's a good idea too, though. Yeah.
Right, yeah. The coat is practical. There's a couple more fun ones, but I mean, they do depend on like your price range. Because other recommendations were a very pricey camera drone, which those are about like less than Beckmenon.
A camera drone.
A camera drone, yes. But also 3D printers. They are surprisingly affordable. Some of them, they're less than 20만 원.
Ooh, yeah, that
I did not know that, yeah. So another really affordable, fun one, craft beer from, whatever guy you're buying for, find his favorite local brewery, get some craft beer. It's very practical, very affordable. It'll be useful.
A home beer machine.
Is there a home beer machine?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was doing my previous show a few years ago, and I had Facebook open for some reason, and, they have that, like, FB Market.
Okay,
the
yes.
marketplace. And anyway, so someone was giving away, a restaurant owner was giving away a beer machine, a draft machine, because their
Okay.
business was closing or something. So I immediately said, like, oh, I'll go get it. So I picked it up. I brought this huge, giant draft beer machine home to my house, and I plugged it in. And the noise that thing, do you know how noisy draft beer machines are?
I did not know. It's really is it like a washing machine? Oh, it's like a washing machine.
And it doesn't stop. So I looked at it and I thought, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
But that said, I saw this at the Mart a few weeks ago. They do have like these little draft beer machines, like little mini ones.
I've seen those, the little mini ones.
I haven't tried it. I don't know if the beer's any good. But yeah, if your man is a beer drinker, then that's always a good gift. You can't go wrong with that, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
All right, so wait a minute. Now that's the coworkers, that's the man in your life. Anything for kids and teenagers they recommend?
Yes. So, top thing for teenagers, I didn't make this list, but apparently human dog bed. That is what teenagers of social media allegedly want.
That sounds amazing.
Right? It's like a round plush dog bed, but it's
for a person.
But it's for a person. It has raised sides, and it's an orthopedic foam base.
Oh, nice.
Perfect for naps,
Yeah.
and it's machine washable.
That sounds wonderful, actually.
Yeah. So that's the top gift. Right. But also beloved Charles Schultz character Snoopy. This is absolutely the hottest gift right now for Gen Z. And it's not just any Snoopy plushie. This is a limited edition puffer coat Snoopy.
Why is this so popular?
So, I mean, it's a good question. Maybe the limited edition has something to do with it, but it's cute. Snoopy is wearing a sky blue puffer coat and has a green and yellow striped hat, and it's very affordable. So, original price of this Snoopy was $13.99, less than Imenon, but due to its popularity, people are already reselling these online for Yukmenon.
Oh, really?
So, huge hit already.
Oh, very cool. This is a hot item in Korea, too?
In Korea, you would have to try to get it online.
Get it
is
sent
not
over.
available in stores.
I see.
Yes.
Well, hold on. You covered men, you covered kids, you covered coworkers. I don't see anything in here for the ladies in the world.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
You don't know what to get for ladies? Oh, this is
course
very
we don't
sad.
know.
Of
course we
course you don't know what to get for ladies. Okay, so this is not in the script. My personal opinion, if the woman usually wears a certain type of jewelry. So, for example, I only wear earrings. I do not wear other jewelry.
Okay.
So you could get an item of jewelry. Also,
Like something that you don't typically wear, you mean? Like a watch?
no, you should get something they usually wear.
Oh,
so if
like
they never
another-
wear a watch, don't buy a
Okay,
watch.
okay.
Yes. If they never wear bracelets, don't get a bracelet. Right. Get something they already use a lot. Also, I think I'm a big fan personally of really good smelling, like expensive body wash, because I wouldn't want to buy that for myself because I think that's a waste.
Okay.
Yes. So like more on the luxury side. I would get affordable, get more luxurious.
So something luxurious that you know that she would enjoy, that she typically wouldn't buy for herself, but you know she would love it anyway.
Yes.
How would you feel about a 9-in-1 pen that has a flashlight, a level, a ruler? I mean, we're talking the best of the best pens here.
You know, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst gift ever, honestly.
How to
It's
be
not-
single in one easy step.
Yeah, if that was the only gift. But, you know, like things from my childhood, I actually had somebody ask me the other day, what are you most excited for? My brother, I'm quite sure, I didn't open the gift yet. He got me, I'm quite sure, a plushie doll that is based on a book that my grandma got me as a child. Super
Lovely.
cute character, so I'm so excited. So if you know, like some little like niche hobby or like interest of that person's, definitely like the hobby base, the niche interest. That's the way to go for gifts.
You should bring the box to the show and open it on air. Then we can either experience your joy and excitement or your soul-crushing disappointment and anger towards your brother at this Christmas season.
No, so this brother, he knows me well. I will be so happy. I will not have soul-crushing disappointment.
I got it. All right. Fun segment today, Melissa. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next week.
Nana Muscuri to finish up the first God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen.
Your Reach to the World. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
괜찮아 괜찮아 조금 불편해도 환경을 위해 너무 괜찮아 일회용 대신 머그컵 비닐봉지 대신 에코백 물티슈 대신 손수건 우리의 실천 하나하나 모여 세상을 바꿔요 깨끗한 세상 플라스틱 제로 일회용품 제로 함께해서 참 좋은 우리의 시민
이 캠페인은 부산환경공단이 함께합니다.
안녕하세요. 영화배우 김민재입니다. 마약 시작하면 끝입니다.
너도 시작해볼래? 정말 끝내준대.
청춘 끝.
집중이 잘 안 돼? 이거 하나면 끝나.
미래 끝.
다이어트해도 정말 끝내준대.
건강 끝.
걱정할 필요 없어. 뒤끝 전혀 없어.
젊음 끝.
끝난다 끝나. 이제 우리 끝까지 가볼까?
인생 끝. 마약 당신은 이미 그 끝을 알고 있습니다. 마약 시작이 인생 끝입니다. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 3 o'clock.
You're listening to Steve Hatherly Reboot on BEFM 90.5.
Sun is high. It's the start of a long, hot summer. And for you and I, hanging out with each other since the early days. Always been close when it mattered. Look how much we've changed. Still so much to discover. And if someday we find we ever have to say goodbye, we'll be running back these memories to relive time after time. Because these are the days of our lives that we'll always remember. Here's to the craziest times that we've been through together. These are the days. These are the days we'll always remember.
That was S Club 7. These are the days. And S Club have returned with their first single in 20 years. The pop group S Club, formerly S Club 7. Actually, did I just say S Club 7? Because I just assumed that's the name of the group because that's how I know them. But they're not called S Club 7 anymore. They're just called S Club. And they've described the new track as a tribute to late bandmate Paul Cattermole, who passed away suddenly in April of this year. He passed away due to heart-related issues. The group was formed by Simon Fuller, S Club 7, they were, as they were originally called. And they were one of the UK's biggest pop bands of the late 90s and early 2000s. And they were known for kind of songs like you just heard. Very catchy, very inoffensive hits, very clean, kind of family fun music. Hits such as Reach and Don't Stop Moving and Bring It All Back and Never Had a Dream Come True. They had a lot. They were a big deal. They had a lot of big hits back in the 90s and early 2000s. And here they are back with their new name and their new song. That's pretty cool. That one got us into the second hour of Steve Hatherly Reboot on this Tuesday afternoon. You're tuned in on BEFM 90.5 in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Zhongguan, and Noksan areas. In Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3 and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. Thank you very much for sticking with me for hour number 2 today, talking about great gift ideas for the 2023 Christmas season with Melissa in today's Officially Amazing. I don't know. I haven't started thinking about Christmas gifts yet. I don't think this year, I don't think that's overly important to me this year. I mean, we're moving house. We're doing that this week. I've mentioned that a few times on the show, right? So I think because we're doing that, I think my brain and my focus is more directed towards that. So maybe for this year, for Christmas, maybe putting some things in the house that we would both enjoy would be a good idea. Like a dishwasher, for example. Is that a romantic? That doesn't feel romantic. It feels, when in my brain said, oh, that's a really good idea. And then when my mouth said it, I thought, oh, shut up, idiot. Don't do that. That doesn't seem like a great Christmas gift at all. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to discuss this with my wife. But for me personally, I think for this season, I'm thinking more on the practicality side of things. Do you know what I mean? Like cool stuff for your house that you typically wouldn't put in your house. The new space doesn't have a dishwasher in it, so why not have one installed? To me, that sounds like a really cool idea. Hisuk says women do not like stuff like that. Okay, making a note. Do not recommend dishwasher. Napidi, did you catch that? Don't recommend a dishwasher to anyone. But why not? Why not? I'm not suggesting a dishwasher like, here, you use this. No, not at all. This is, the housework. We divide the housework. So maybe, oh, wait, am I being selfish? Is my brain being selfish? Like, I don't want to wash the dishes anymore. So, oh my goodness. Is this the same as when Homer got a bowling ball for Marge and The Simpsons, and the bowling ball said Homer on it? Is this the same situation? See, this is why I need this radio show. This is why I need to discuss things like this with you. If I didn't have you as an outlet, I would just be buying terrible gifts for my wife all the time. Anyway, yeah, it's fun, and it is that time of year, right? I mean, again, not everyone celebrates Christmas, and not even if you do celebrate Christmas, not everyone is super excited about gift giving, and you don't have to be. Not everyone is. But generally speaking, this is the time of year when people really start thinking about it, don't they? Anyway, let's get into hour number 2, shall we? Coming up on the program in this second hour, we'll kick things off with our fun fact of the day. Did you know that there's a Chinese town that has duplicated Paris? Duplitecture is the term, new term for me. I learned a new word last night as I was getting ready for the show today. And this is kind of a cool idea. I think it's a really fun idea. And I'll tell you all about that for our fun fact of the day. For tomorrow today, oh, this would be so disappointing. I mean, especially considering the time of year that it is. Although, to be fair, this was supposed to depart in November, I think in early November. And I've never heard of anything like this before, but there was meant to be a 3-year cruise that was going to depart, if my memory serves me correctly, it was from Turkey. And then it got delayed, and then they changed the location, and then it ended up getting canceled. And as I mentioned in the first hour, if you think, well, that's not really a big deal. Stuff gets canceled all the time, right? But think about that. If you had booked a 3-year cruise, think about the arrangements that you would have made in your own personal life regarding, oh my gosh, regarding so many things, regarding your housing, right? Regarding your employment because you wouldn't be working if you went on a 3-year cruise. There's a lot of different things that come into account here. So this is a massive deal. That's why this is such a big story. And I think it qualifies for tomorrow today because that's not going to be happening tomorrow or today. Then we'll move on from that after we learn about that to Perfect Playlist, the best songs for every situation. And I, of course, will check your messages throughout hour number 2 as well. Question of the day today. If you could bring any one thing from another country and duplicate it in Korea, what would it be? 만약 다른 나라에서 한 가지를 한국으로 가져와서 똑같이 만들 수 있다면 그것은 무엇인가요? Umberto says, I would take the British Museum because it has almost every history piece from every country. If you know, you know, the message says. I think I understand what you're trying to say there, Umberto. Thanks for that message. Yeah, we could talk about culture. Culture-related things. We can talk about architecture, of course. Cherish said in the first hour you'd like to bring the mass transportation system from here in Korea to the Philippines as well. Here in Busan, comparing the public transportation system in Busan to Seoul, I would say it's smaller. It's less extensive, as it would be, right? Busan is a smaller city, geographically speaking, than Seoul. But it's just as efficient, it's just as clean, it's just as safe. And there's one major advantage. There are fewer people. Yeah, so when you take the subway, of course, if you take it during rush hour times, then, it's going to be busy. In fact, it can be more than busy here in Busan. But it's just different. It's not as crowded. So it just feels a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, in terms of Busan's public transportation system, it's the same as Seoul. You have the buses with the bus lanes that run through the center of the big roads rather than on the sides. That's convenient. The subways are just as convenient. Yeah, it's just the same as it is in Seoul, maybe just on a smaller scale. All right, so that's our question today. If you could take any one thing from any other country and then duplicate it here in Korea, what would that be? Text me your answers. Pounder sharp 9050. That's for 100 won. Add us on Kakao Talk for free and send messages for free by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You could download the app from any of the app stores. You could listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. All right, let's get to our expression for today. This is from King the Land, and in this scene, the prince has finally come to Korea. And this is kind of the storyline in the drama right now. Remember the two competing hotels. There's two major hotels, and they were both competing to get this contract, like whose hotel will the prince stay at? And of course, he chooses King the Land in the end. And now in this scene, they've gone to the airport to pick him up, and he arrives. And when he arrives, the young woman from the hotel is there to greet him. And maybe it's not at the airport. Maybe it's at the hotel itself. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the young woman is there to greet him, and they're chatting. And when they're chatting, the prince starts speaking Korean. And when he starts speaking Korean, this is what she says to him.
근데 한국말 너무 잘하셔서 깜짝 놀랐어요.
Yeah, now, if you're a member of the expat community here in Korea, you might hear this sentence a lot. And it's a very nice thing to say to someone else regarding their language skills. She says this. We'll go slowly through this. 근데 한국말 너무 잘하셔서 깜짝 놀랐어요. Have you heard that? If you're a member of the expat community, I think you've heard this before, right? When someone speaks Korean and they are a non-native Korean speaker, native Korean speakers will usually say this kind of thing. And the translation was, by the way, I was surprised by your Korean skills. Okay, but let's go through it piece by piece and break it down and see what we can learn here. 근데. 근데 means but. 한국말 means Korean. 너무 means very. 잘하셨어. Very well. And then maybe we can focus on this part. 깜짝 놀랐어요. That means I was surprised by that thing. So when we put it all together, but Korean speaking so well, I was surprised. And when we flip that around, it was translated like that. By the way, I was surprised by your Korean skills. I don't think this is a literal translation. It's not, right? But it's good. It's a good translation. But this is one of those sentences coming from Korean to English where it's not necessary to translate it exactly word for word. All right. So 깜짝 놀랐어요. I was shocked. I was surprised. Na PD. If I say suddenly to you, if I do this, boo, then can you respond by saying, oh, 깜짝 놀랐어요? Would you use that expression in that situation, or would you not? In that case, when you're a little bit scared, would you use that expression? You can use that expression. In my experience, women use that expression maybe more than men do. Would you say that that's true, Na PD? He says, yeah, that's probably true. And in Korean culture, there are some expressions that women use more, and there are some expressions that men use more. I remember a long time ago, this is the easiest example. A long time ago when I was teaching at a hagwon, I used to say all the time, if something happened, I would always say, like, 어머머머머머머머머. And my Korean female coworkers would always laugh at me. I said, why are you laughing at me? It means that means like oh my gosh. And they said, women, it's usually women that use that expression. Men typically don't use that expression in Korean. I said, oh, I didn't realize that. So that's just one example. There are many other examples as well. And it doesn't, by the way, it doesn't mean that men can't use certain expressions and women can't use certain expressions. It's just generally speaking, here in Korean language, that does apply sometimes. And I think 깜짝 놀랐어요 is one of those situations when you're a little bit startled or you're a little bit scared, then you'll hear that expression. But the full expression, talking about how good someone's language skills are, one more time in Korean, she said, 근데 한국말 너무 잘하셔서 깜짝 놀랐어요. Let's hear it. Napidi, if you don't mind, can we hear that 2 times, please? Because this is a really useful expression to speak to someone when they're speaking Korean. So let's hear it again.
근데 한국말 너무 잘하셔서 깜짝 놀랐어요. 근데 한국말 너무 잘하셔서 깜짝 놀랐어요.
깜짝 놀랐어요. It's pretty quick, right? But if you hear that, if you're a student of Korean and you hear that, 잘하셔서 한국말 잘하셔서 깜짝 놀랐어요. You'll know that you're receiving a compliment about how good your Korean is. And in English, the translation was, by the way, I was surprised by your Korean skills. I would say we could probably make that easier and just say like, oh, you speak Korean quite well. Or something like that. That one's not too tough, I think. All right, there you go. Hopefully that helps out your Korean or your English, depending on which one you're learning, if not both. We'll have a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the Chinese town that duplicated Paris, and quite well at that. Here's Sia. Give me love.
You don't wanna dance.
That was Sia, Give Me Love, and now it's time for our fun fact of the day. On the eastern coast of China, some 6,000 miles away from Paris, a 354-foot replica of the Eiffel Tower dominates Tiandusheng's skyline. Known as the Paris of the East, the luxury real estate development in Zhejiang province was designed to evoke classical European charm. Its residents have their own Arc de Triomphe, Champs-Élysées. They have that main square. They have French neoclassical style buildings. They have a fountain from the Luxembourg Gardens. And the centerpiece of the city, the second largest replica of the Eiffel Tower in the world. You know where the biggest one is? The biggest one is in the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Paris Las Vegas Hotel. When Tiandusheng first opened its gates more than a decade ago, it was described as a ghost town. And while many of its homes remain vacant, the population has grown into the thousands, and it attracts a steady stream of Chinese and international tourists, including newlyweds, looking for a picture-perfect backdrop. This is called duplitecture. Duplitecture. It was a new word for me. And Tiandusheng isn't the only city in China with an uncanny familiarity. On the outskirts of Beijing, for example, a replica of Jackson Hole, Wyoming is outfitted with cowboys and a Route 66. That's a famous highway in the United States. Red telephone booths, pubs, and statues of Winston Churchill pepper the corridors of Shanghai's Thames Town. The city of Fuzhou is constructing a replica of Stratford-upon-Avon in tribute to Shakespeare. Fuyang built their own U.S. Capitol building, and the Austrian UNESCO World Heritage town of Hallstatt has a second home in Guangdong. Entire townships and villages appear to have been airlifted from their historical and geographical foundations in England, France, Greece, the U.S., and Canada, and spot welded to the margins of Chinese cities, according to Bianca Bosker, author of Original Copies, Architectural Mimicry in Contemporary China. This is such an interesting idea. I've never heard of this before, have you? Bosker refers to this phenomenon as duplitecture. And while critics argue that these sites are, nothing more than knockoffs, the Chinese architects behind them, they believe that their ability to recreate the world's greatest architectural marvels is a testament to their own skill and their own technological advancement. And while it was once considered to be the center of the world, now China is making itself into the center that actually contains the world, which I kind of love that quote. Means taking things from other countries and then putting it there so that they can enjoy it too. Visitors can now see authentic cultural icons like the Great Wall and the mausoleum of the first emperor alongside a mini Versailles or Paris in the same trip. All in the same trip, but the government is pushing back against the proliferation of these Western facsimiles. During an ongoing Chinese geographical survey, officials found that traditional Chinese names were being replaced by foreign ones, or perhaps disappearing altogether, including more than 400,000 village names. And according to the New York Times, a regulation in China has prohibited the use of foreign monikers for locations since 1996 as a means to protect cultural heritage, but it has had little effect. I remember hearing about something similar. I'm not sure if it's similar or not, but in the Insadong area of Seoul, I remember seeing the box store, and that store sign name had to be written out in Korean characters because that street, that area, was meant to do just that. No English signs there. I'm not sure if that holds true, but that's the way it was, I believe, many years ago. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong. But still, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Bringing architecture from other parts of the world, successful architecture stories, replicating them in their own towns so that tourists can enjoy it. It's a smart way to bring in tourists with social media, what it is these days. People want to take pictures and upload them. So that's a pretty genius idea to get people to visit your town more. From the cultural side of things, I do understand that. Doing it too much and replacing Chinese names or your own names with Western ones, that wouldn't be looked upon too kindly. Maybe one or two examples of that might be okay, but if it becomes the norm and it starts to become a regular thing, then the government wouldn't like that very much. But regardless of how you feel about it, it's still interesting to know that it's happening. And the second largest replica of the Eiffel Tower, the biggest one is in Las Vegas, and then the second biggest one exists in China. That's pretty cool to know. That is today's fun fact. And when we come back, we'll check out Tomorrow Today. And we're going to talk about the 3-year cruise that so many people signed up for, and then at the last minute, it got canceled. Here is Rosalind. Snap. That was Rosalind with Snap, and now it's time for Tomorrow Today. And I chose this for Tomorrow Today because this doesn't seem to be happening tomorrow, and it's definitely not happening today. They had signed up for the experience of a lifetime. 3 years traveling the world from the comfort of a cruise ship at prices that rivaled regular living expenses. But now the dream is over for passengers who had signed up for Life at Sea Cruises' inaugural 3-year voyage. After weeks of silence, the company has acknowledged to passengers that it has no ship and has canceled the departure, vowing to refund those who'd signed up for the cruises, costing up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. The cruise was originally due to depart Istanbul, Turkey on November 1st, but shortly after that date, departure was postponed to November 11th and then relocated to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Netherlands, and then to November 30th, again from Amsterdam. But on November 17th, less than 2 weeks before the third departure date, passengers were informed the cruise was canceled. Some of the passengers who booked the 111 cabins sold are still in Istanbul, having made their way there ahead of the original departure date. Others say they have nowhere to return to. Why? They sold or rented out their homes in anticipation of the round-the-world trip, as well as selling most of their possessions that they owned before. Most have spent tens of thousands of dollars on what was meant to be the experience of a lifetime, and now they face a wait of at least several months to get their money back. The company has said it will make repayments in monthly installments starting from mid-December and completing repayments in late February. It has also offered to pay for accommodation until December 1st and flights home for anyone now stranded in Istanbul. But some say they have no homes to return to. There's a whole lot of people right now with nowhere to go, and some need their refund to even plan a place to go. It's not good. It's a bad situation. That's a quote from one passenger who wished to remain anonymous until they got their refund. Life at Sea Cruises had been planning to buy the Aura. That was a ship retired this summer by Ada Cruises. That's a German subsidiary of Carnival. It was due to be rechristened as the MV Lara. The company had originally slated the sale to go through by the end of September before working on the ship in dry dock in Germany, then renovating it before sailing it to Istanbul to start the cruise. That was the plan, but that didn't happen. After 6 weeks of uncertainty, during which Life at Sea repeatedly told guests that the sale was taking longer than planned, on November 16th, another company, Celestial Cruises, announced that it had bought the Aura. What? That was the ship that was supposed to be purchased. Another company bought it. A day later, Life at Sea's former CEO, Kendra Holmes, who had resigned days earlier and said she was not speaking on behalf of the parent company, Murray Cruises, she recorded a 15-minute video for passengers admitting that the cruise would not be going ahead. It's unclear why Holmes was chosen to make the announcement, which was provided to CNN by a different passenger, but she declined to comment to CNN. 48 hours after Holmes's video, passengers received a message from the owner of Murray Cruises, which owns Life at Sea, declaring himself, quote, extremely sorry for the inconvenience. He confirmed the cruise would not be departing as planned. The reason? Get this. How angry would you be at this? This is the reason. The company couldn't afford to buy the ship. In his message, he said Murray is not such a big company to afford to pay $40 or $50 million for a ship, and that it had presented the project to investors and had official approval from some of them to buy the vessel. He said that while the company had made the down payment for the ship, the investors declined to support us further due to unrest in the Middle East. We know what's happening in the Middle East, and the representative told passengers that day, the day of the announcement, that the company then tried and failed to buy another ship. And then it was working on buying a third ship. And then the announcement came, and this announcement has passed. If we will not be able to sail on December 1st, we will offer you to sail on another departure date or refund all the payments within a short schedule. We have tried everything to make your dreams come true, and we will continue to do so. What a mess. Can you imagine this? Think about this from the very beginning. You see this for sale, right? You see this package for sale. It's a 3-year cruise. You talk to your partner or you make the decision yourself. You talk to your bosses, your coworkers, and you make one of the biggest decisions that you'll probably ever make in your life. I'm going to give up everything for 3 years and purchase this cruise package to travel around the world. Wow, what a life-changing experience this will be. So what do? You tell your family members, you quit your job, you sell your stuff, you sell your house maybe, or at least you rent out your home. You make arrangements so that some people will live in your house for a 3-year period while you're gone. Fast forward to early November. Yeah, the cruise isn't happening. Every arrangement you made, cancel that because we don't have enough money to buy the boat that we wanted to buy. Sorry. We wanted to make your dreams come true. Sorry for the inconvenience was the quote. Oh, my goodness. This must be a mess. As it said in the story, some people are still stranded in Istanbul because they sold their stuff. They went there, and now they don't have anywhere else to go. Unbelievable, the story. I can't imagine the lawsuits that are going to come from this, if any. I don't know the legal ramifications that are possible from a situation like this because I've never heard of a situation like this before. But just be thankful as we're heading into the holiday season that you're not in this spot because that is tricky. And can you imagine the stress at working at that company right now as well, what they're going through on a daily basis? Not that we should feel overly sorry for them. It sounds like they created this problem for themselves, or maybe they didn't. I don't know all the details. Anyway, interesting story. That is tomorrow, today, for today. And we'll come back with perfect playlists after this. Glass Animals, Heat Waves. was Glass Animals, Heat Waves, and now it's time for Perfect Playlist. Do you need the perfect songs for the perfect situation? Worry not, friends. Perfect Playlist has you covered. And the theme for this week, warm-weathered Christmas songs. Track 1 today. Ariana Grande, Winter Things. Ariana Grande knows a thing or two about spending Christmas in the heat, as she is from the coastal city of Boca Raton, Florida. In this 2015 tune, she describes how it feels mid-July with the heat blasting at 100 degrees in Florida. With her beau, her love, in town for the holidays, however, they are going to do some wintry things to pretend that they're at the North Pole. While others are at the beach, the couple instead plans to go ice skating and chill by the fireside. That will take a good amount of imagination in that Florida heat. After that, we'll hear Colby Calais, Christmas in the Sand. The protagonist in this 2012 pop song is a slathering of Hawaiian tropic skin lotion as she spends the holiday in the white sand again this year. Santa is in his swimsuit, falling off his surfboard while trying to catch some waves while Rudolph is playing reindeer games. Singer Colby Calais grew up in sunny California, hence the idea, I guess, for the song. Warm-weathered Christmas songs, that's our theme this week for every situation. The perfect song, yes, we have that covered for you. Let's listen to 2 in a row. Ariana Grande, Winter Things, and then Colby Calais, Christmas in the Sand.
It ain't even
Christmas in the Sand from Colby Calais and Ariana Grande, Winter Things. I like the theme this week, warm weather, Christmas-related songs. Today, I asked you if you could take something from another country and then boop, bring it over to Korea, what would it be? 8388 said pyramids. It's my son's idea. Oh, yeah, you could spread them out all over the country. That would be kind of cool, right? Actually, when they had the sandcastle competition, was it a competition here at Haeundae Beach in the summertime? I think the pyramids, someone did one of the pyramids, and it was kind of cool, actually. It was huge. This huge pyramid in the middle of Haeundae Beach was kind of fun to look at. I don't know if they do that every year. This was just my first summer in Busan, so I'm not sure, but it was fun to check out. Maybe you can put that on your schedule, 8388 for next summer. Silly said we were talking about the lack of trash cans here in Korea on the show recently. Silly said, how about bringing the excess trash cans from other parts of the world like Scandinavia or Singapore or anywhere? Yeah, maybe not a bad idea. We can put them next to the pyramids, right? And maybe they won't notice. All right, that'll do it for Steve Hatherly Reboot for this afternoon. Thank you very much for hanging out with me over the last couple of hours. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Thank you to Melissa for today's Officially Amazing. Thank you to you, as always, for your listenership and your participation. I've been your host, Steve Hatherly, and I will leave you with this one today. Gregory Porter, Everything You Touch is Gold. Enjoy that track. Have a great day, and we'll reboot again tomorrow.
Everything you touch is gold.